everybody. Welcome to another episode of Psycho Splatters, always powered by coffee each and every time. Today we're doing a review. Yes, as Toby here is under my feet. She was asleep a couple minutes ago. She was. What are we going to review today? Of course, it says in the title, we're going to review Anthology 4. That is right, from the Beatles. I've had people ask me to review this. I was going to do it anyway. Here's the front. Here's the back. You're looking at a trifold, so to speak. Okay, your booklet here. Now this is CD because there's no way in hell I was going to pay for a vinyl release. That's for sure. But just to give you a hint, look, there's John in some of his glory, and of course our infamous Sergeant Pepper cover. And here's a nice one. Always one of my favorite shots of them from '67 era Beatles and such. Yes, yes, yes. So, anyways, so Anthology 4 came out November 21st, 2025. My notes, by the way, Beatles official website, wiki, all music, a couple wiki Beatle forums too for different things as well. So, this is supposed to complement Anthologies 1 through 3, which was released in 1995/96. And I get why they released 4, sort of, okay, 30th anniversary since the first one, but let's go sort of track by track on this, okay? So the first two I saw are Standing There, Take Two, and Money, undubbed. Both were taken from the 2013 release Beatles bootleg recordings that you only could get through iTunes back in 2013. Also on that the Beatle bootleg recordings, 42 BBC that are not on Volume 1 and Volume 2, and also John Lennon, 2 demos, Bad to Me and I'm in Love. I thought they were fun to listen to, those 2 tracks. Track 3, This Boy, Take 12 and 13, you can get that as from the Freeze a Bird EP, if you remember back in 95, late 95, early 96. That was there as the third track on the Freeze a Bird EP. I think I've got that somewhere in my vinyl collection, maybe my CD collection too. Track 4, Tell Me Why. We're gonna go here. Tell Me Why. If I Fell, Matchbox, Every Little Thing, I Need You. These takes were never heard on a release until this was applied to that. I do like to hear the studio banner on these, and of course, hearing them, but not much differences on these, as opposed to the release takes that were released out to the general public back in the day. Which takes us to track 9, I've Just Seen a Face, which is the take 3. Yes, Toby. Love the Slight, bluegrass. And I thought this is what I like, though. It's like the Beatles could do all different kinds of styles of music because of going back to the 50s and absorbing, going back to the early rock and roll and the skiffle days and the country music and such. They all had that ingrained into their musical, what do we want to call it? Their musical network pattern, if you will. But this one here, like I said, it's got a slight bluegrass country feel to this, and I think that's the reason why I like this take so much. Excuse me. Track 10, In My Life, take 1. It is a wonderful piece of work here, that's for sure. Take 11, Nowhere Man. Take 2, still love hearing that jangly guitar indeed. Track 12 and 13, Gotta Get You Into My Life and Love You Too, which we're going to start touching on here, is that you're getting a lot of special edition that are getting grafted. They're getting grafted onto this, little bits and pieces of a few albums in their special edition format, and we'll explain what I think why in a little bit here. But those 2 tracks, of course, off of the Revolver special edition, uh, with Gotta Get You Into My Life, you have a sliver of a sliver of guitar, at least in my opinion, which sounds like it's going to get used in Getting Better, which is on Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. With Love You Too, I'm not going to lie to you. It used to be not to me anyway. It was not so good of a track for me back when I was a younger Beatle fan. Okay, but that's changed in the last couple of years. I do really like that the Indian instruments, of course, are a welcome standout on this track. I do think I respect and can reflect a little better with the Indian musicianship that George tried to do, considering that since that time I've listened to some Ravi Shankar albums and some um, other Indian music through occasional vinyls that I've come across. Track 14 and 15 from the Sgt. Pepper 50th Anniversary Edition, Strawberry Fields. I'm not a big fan of this, though, because it appears to be slightly sped up, and it kind of is annoying, in my opinion, on that. We get to She's Leaving Home. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat for the rest of this, okay? I wrote This is what I wrote. I said, okay, I'm sorry, but I'm not much into the instrumentals unless it's almost 180 degrees from the original release. I know I'm being picky, okay? I've just never been a big fan of element mixes. Some people get into that stuff. Once again, that's why I stuck in the title here, just my opinion. Then we get to Baby You're a Rich Man. Okay, one of my favorite tracks off of this, take 11 and 12. One of my faves here, like I said, we, uh, in the words of the Beatles, we want some cokes and cannabis resin, Mal. And there's the tape, of course, for the High Court for the next day. That was some of the banter that they used, along with John singing, "How does it feel to be one of the loudest people?" It really does bring up the nice call response, though. Seriously, of kind of gives you a little bit of a reminiscent to with a little help from my friends, where Ringo's going off and doing that call response there. Well, then, Baby, You're a Rich Man. Of course, it is different than the released version, with Brian Jones adding instrumentation along with some others. But I kind of like the way this one goes. It's really fun, in my opinion, anyway. Track 17, All You Need Is Love, the BBC rehearsal. Now, it's a nice peek behind the curtain, but that's about it, in my opinion. We go to track 18 and 19, Fool on the Hill and I Am the Walrus. Once again, instrument elements. Now, I gotta let you know right off the bat here, okay, that I did get to listen to this. I would say probably the whole thing I listened to about at least 3 times before I even attempted to do this because I really wanted it to sink in, okay, in my opinion. Track 20, Hey Bulldog, same thing. It's another instrumental element. But then we get to track 21, Good Night, which is take 10. God, is this a beautiful piece of music here with Ringo, the harmonies, and the guitars. It just made me think for a second that, God, I miss them when they could work together like this without bickering and backbiting and stuff. God, just makes you wish, makes you wish for more stuff. Now, the track 21 through 27, of course, is all from the Beatles' White Album 50th Anniversary Super Edition. All right. Track 22, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Still love this. Can hear Paul a little bit singing in the background in this too. A great version of this track. Track 23, You're So Square. Baby, I Don't Care. It's a quick little fun piece of that's for sure. I really wish there would have been a little more quickie jams like this. 25, Helter Skelter. Did the Beatles invent heavy metal? Well, part of it at least. Always loved this damn song. I got blisters on my fingers. Indeed. By the way, if you ever heard the track 2 that is on the 12-minute version that's on the Super Edition, boy, oh boy, how bluesy is that? I love that edition too. Track 26, Can You Take Me Back? Should have been a little bit more fleshed out on this, but I was digging it. Seriously, especially the John Paul quick interplay too. Tracks 28 through 30 are off of Let It Be Special Edition. Track 28, Get Back, Take 8. It's 5 o'clock. Your mother's got the tea on. I like this version too, actually, as well. Track 29, Octopus's Garden. Nice to hear the have you written any more have you written any more words, Ringo? No. Oh boy. Track 31 through 33, Abbey Road 50th Anniversary Edition. Track 31, being You Never Give Me Your Money. You never give me your money. You never give me your coffee. What if he was saying that to George? Somebody was commenting. It's a beautiful version that they should have actually kept the guitar in at the end of this song, to put into the official released version. Track 32, Here Comes the Sun, take 9. It seems punchier, actually, to me. One of my favorite George songs, always. Track 33, we get to Something, which is an instrumental again. Then we get to one of the bones of the contention here, towards the back end of this. Track 34 through 36, Free as a Bird, 2025 mix, Real Love, 2025 mix, and Now and Then. So Free as a Bird, I always like the haunting quality of John's voice and those harmonies in George's guitar. Nothing says George Harrison like that guitar. Oh, that slide. Uh, anyways, I love that in the 95 mix. But in the 2025, the haunting of John's voice, in my opinion, was gone. Other than that, the 2025 remix is better. It really is. Real Love? Oh, God, this is what I wrote. Do I really have to go there? Okay, so listen. Truthfully, to this man's ears, the 2015 remix, okay, we're talking about when they remixed for the plus the One Plus DVD/Blu-ray. That's really good. If you've never heard it, go check that out. But out of all honesty, or the 95 original version, all right? That's my recommendation. They really boo-booed on Real Love on this one. And Now and Then, why? Why bother? Anyways, what should have been on Anthology 4? Here's some suggestions. Carnival of Light. I wrote, we don't care what the Apple organization thinks. Put it out. We'll be the judge of this. Revolution Take 20. Helter Skelter Take 3, otherwise known as that 27, 28-minute version. We definitely know he's going to have blisters on his fingers after that one, that's for sure. Put on official John demos, Bad to Me and I'm in Love, along with any other demos from any of the other bandmates that would have been just neat to hear in demo form. I heard that George's Do You Want to Know a Secret? That's another one, that needs to be heard. The Palace of the King of the Birds. Now, I've heard bits and pieces of this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, to me, in my opinion, it almost sounds like they're channeling the Grateful Dead. Just a little bit in this whole piece. Now, the version I heard was about 5.5 minutes long. Still, though, needs to get put out, all right? And lastly, I know some of you people are going to go off and say, well, some of it's already out in the anthology, jackass, but I think all of the Decca tapes need to come out, cleaned up, put it out there, okay? If Peter Jackson doesn't have access to that stuff like he does with the other thing I'm going to tell you about, he should do this. Now, the charts. It made it to number 9 in the UK. Anthology 4 did. Only to 48 in the US. Not real good, in my opinion, on that. Now, I didn't spend full price, thankfully enough, on that. With tax, I think it was $24. I got it anyway. I know, really strange because I had the other three. I wasn't going to go get the whole set, 1 through 4. Forget that nonsense. I wasn't going to do it. Unless you didn't get it before, then you might as well get it, right? Because I don't know about you, but I can get a hold of the original 1 through 3s relatively easy around here in the CD forms. Vinyl, of course, not so much. The other thing, though, that I think, and this is where I'm going on this, and I know this is one of the things that I stressed now, is that I did not watch anybody else's reviews because I wanted to put my take out there, okay, without any influence. But the fact of the matter is, I think the reason why they stuck as some filler anyway from these special deluxe editions um, of these other box sets was to get the new listeners and kind of give them tastes to draw them in to go buy those damn deluxe sets. That's the only theory I've got on this. Now, does it work for me? Yes and no. And I've been a Beatle fan since shit, probably I don't know, 11, 12 years old at least. That's when I started collecting in the late 70s. But maybe eventually I'll get the super deluxe editions, but I'm I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of thrifty. I want the prices to go down a little bit, and some of them have. Not all of them, but some of them. But I think that's the theory about all that stuff. What do I think, truthfully, should come out next? A live anthology. That's what I'm thinking. And what I mean by that is Peter Jackson, I'm told, has got the Star Club tapes. He's working on that stuff. That could be part of the live anthology. Stuff like Hong Kong 1964, one of the few shows that drummer Jimmy Nickel is on. It does exist. Apple Corps owns the tapes. I'm telling you, I think we need that next. But other than that, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, six unreleased stuff, sort of mixed with other things, we're almost getting to the point of the scraping of the bottom of the barrel. I am grateful. I'm not being completely bitchy on this. I am grateful for what we have gotten so far all these years, considering that this band was around basically from 1962 to 1970 in any recorded form that was released, that we still have stuff to talk about. Okay. And I think that's amazing. And I'm like I said, I just think that Anthology 4 could have been a hell of a lot better. It really, really could have. I don't like using the word cash grab, okay, but I don't know what to call this. In the comments, did you end up getting this? Did CD or vinyl? What do you think about it? All right. What's your favorite thing off of this? Am I missing some unreleased stuff that could get stuck on what should have been on here? Drop it in the comments, please. I love some good constructive criticism. I have no problems with that whatsoever. All right, gang. Until next time, I appreciate you watching this long-winded thing. Always powered by coffee each and every time. Take care. God bless. Rock on. And we'll see you next time. Psycho's Platters is a Love Peace production.